I believe a culture of trust today is more essential than it's ever been. And we live in an interesting time. With digital technology, we basically have full transparency to information. And I think there's a higher expectation amongst individuals as to know, to be included, to basically be part of the conversation. I think as leaders today, more than ever, we need to have transparency to build trust in the organizations we lead. When I was starting out, basically as an employee, you had very little access to information. Companies would do annual reports or their shareholder newsletter. And I think that today, to attract and retain the best talent, people need to understand decisions. Corporations need to embrace a greater level of transparency in terms of sharing information with their employees. Companies that basically share this information are going to have greater loyalty, greater shareholder return, and harder working employees. If information is power, why would I not want to give more information to my people to make them as powerful as possible, to help our businesses grow and help us succeed in the marketplace? But then you have the converse. What if it's bad news? What if this quarter what we're sharing is potential layoffs or potential downside? And there was actually a child psychology study where they looked at children who were told and aware of issues, and then they had the parent come in and lie to them and basically tell them everything was okay, everything's fine, don't worry about it. And they studied and looked at actually children's stress levels during this experiment. And ironically, when given reassurance, stress levels spiked. And the reason is children are perceptive. They know when bad is happening. They see it in your face. They see it how the organization carries. And what the study basically found was the spike was an erosion of trust. People are aware of the bad. And if you're not, as a leader, communicating, telling the story, managing information, people are going to make up stories on their own. So my experience is, while you do create distraction when bad occurs, it's infinitely less than the distraction that would naturally occur in saying nothing. One of the ways we've tried to embrace a culture of transparency is to actually create and use tools to get better input. And one of the things we're using right now is a tool called Tiny Pulse. Tiny Pulse is an electronic survey that we take on a weekly or bi-weekly basis of all our employees. And it's questions of how happy are you? What's preventing you from doing a good job? What are the things that basically give you energy? I think transparency is a two-way street. So using a tool like Tiny Pulse allows us to literally take the pulse of the organization and see what's on people's minds, what's their concerns. The whole thing is anonymous. And for me as a leader to have the ability to then be able to address specific needs, I think about it as sensing and responding to employees' needs, wants, and desires versus just announcing from a bully pulpit what I think is important. The idea there of people sharing information, but then you as a leader responding to information with truthful, honest feedback creates actions that build trust, build longevity, and build loyalty. I think that organizations that practice transparency, that earn trust, have a little bit more leeway to basically learn and evolve. So again, yes, there are challenges and there's investment required to build trust and transparency, but the commitments in brand loyalty and employee loyalty, I believe and have seen far outweigh all the investment that's required.